Today we'll be discussing about Kashmir in the month of November 2024. What is the weather going to be like in November? What is the road condition? What is the number of tourists in the state going to be like in the month of November? Is it a good time to be visiting? And what are the key factors that make Kashmir in November a good time to be going there? So, number one, when it comes to the weather, the daytime temperature in Kashmir will range from anywhere between 5 degrees to 18 degrees depending on where you are. And as the day progresses, after sunset, the temperature will drop from 5 degrees to as low as minus 10. Now, this again, the temperature differs and depends entirely on which part of Kashmir you are in. In Srinagar, it is very unlikely for it to be snowing, but it can snow depending on how the weather progresses in the month of November. Towards the latter half of November, it may snow, but in places like Gulmarg, Pahalgam, and Sonamarg, it is definitely going to be snowing. 0 point is where you will get most of the snowfall, and if you are someone who's craving for snowfall, you can definitely find it in Gulmarg and Sonamarg in the month of November. Now, when it comes to the clothing that you need to be carrying, warm clothing in terms of woolen wear is mandatory. You need to have a good pair of shoes, you need to have your head covered with a muffler, you need gloves, and you definitely need a good pair of UV protective sunglasses, since the sun is extremely harsh in this region and traveling in winter in Kashmir can be hazardous if you do not have the correct gear. Falling sick is not an option because it can lead to something which could be very fatal, even can lead to death if you are not prepared for the weather. Now, when it comes to the scenic beauty, autumn is coming to an end in November. So the first half is autumn, second half is extreme winter, at the start of extreme winter rather. So like I mentioned, come prepared with good clothing. It's snow-capped mountains all over Kashmir, so you can, wherever you go, you will get to see snow-capped mountains since it's starting to snow in the higher parts of Kashmir. Dal Lake is a beautiful place to be visiting because the mornings will look mesmerizing with the mist, and there are very few tourists in November since November is only summer holidays in parts of India, but in the rest of India it is still it's not really a holiday season, so you won't find a lot of tourists going there. Most of the holidays, that is Dasera and Diwali, are over in October, and Christmas comes in December, so very unlikely that you'll find any of the family tourist crowd in November. If you do, it will be very limited. Now, when it comes to the key places that you should be visiting, definitely you need to be staying at least 2 to 3 nights in Srinagar. You need to be visiting Gulmarg, Pahalgam, Sonamarg. These are the places that you need to be visiting to have an excellent time in Kashmir. Now, when it comes to the activities that you can experience over here, you can definitely go for some kind of short winter hikes. You can also experience snow sports, that is like something like skiing. You can also experience ice skating, and if it snows really well, you can even try your hand at ice hockey, which is there in parts, but in November it's unlikely. Now, when it comes to the road condition, the roads to 95% of Kashmir are very well made since they are managed and controlled by BRO, that is Border Road Organization. So wherever you go, you will find excellent flawless roads. There are certain patches here and there which are still unmade, but that's very limited along the way. Self-driving is something which is not advisable, but you should hire a taxi and go around. Make sure that you have a taxi which has a heater, since if you're stranded in one place because of any kind of roadblock or traffic jam, the heater will come really handy to prevent you from freezing up in the car. Now, the final thing, what is the tourist crowd that is going to be there? It's going to be very limited compared to the month of December and October. So when you're planning for November, make sure that you go ahead and book your flights, because November is arguably the best time to be going to Kashmir when you want a traveler experience without having to get a lot of tourists over there. So wherever you go, be it Gulmarg, be it Sonamarg, you're not going to find too many tourists over there. So all the content that you can gather will be really good and clean without having any disturbance from outside people coming and invading your shots. One thing that you should not miss when you're in Kashmir is the Wazwan. That's their local food over there, which is a must-have for anyone who's a non-vegetarian. Make sure that you have a lot of Wazwan and do not leave Kashmir without tasting and drinking their kawa every day, because that's what's going to keep you warm when you're traveling in and around Kashmir in winter. For any further queries related to Kashmir, you can leave a comment in the comment section, or you can click a link on the on the link in our description, because we have a trip to Kashmir, which and also plenty of blogs which you'll find in the link in the description. Till our next video about Kashmir, stay safe, stay happy, and stay blessed.